if you have seen. So, if you have seen movies like Tere Naam of Salman Khan or Kabir Singh or the recently released movie called Animal by Ranbir Kapoor, the common element of these movies is that they portray masculinity in the form of violence and they justify violence. Second aspect of toxic masculinity is that you are free to suppress women because that's more masculine. So, what is your take on this? Like, why movies are promoting? Do first of all, you need to speak about, do these kind of movies really promote toxic masculinity? Second thing, why do you think, if there is, then give me the reason for that. Give us the reason for that. Starting with you, Munishji, what do you think? What's your take on this topic?
I didn't know about the other two movies which you said, but I saw Animal. Why I saw Animal? I don't like to watch movie where poverty is shown. I love to see the movie where I can learn something, like somebody inspires me to have a good physique. So that inspiration, maybe it will remain for 1 month. But when I watch a movie the other day, I have that thing in my mind that I have to hit the gym. That's the reason I saw Animal. Because I saw this guy, Ranveer Kapoor, was a chocolate boy. And in this movie, he has built a body. Apart from it was shown about Bobby Deol also. When I went to watch that movie, I heard the review. I asked from one of my staff members, they said out of 10, it's 9, and the entire house is full. I don't take obligation. I called the manager of the theater, and I told him I need one ticket. He obliged me. I went to watch the movie. I didn't enjoy the movie because the things were not shown practical. Like in that movie, a man is shown who is enormously rich, and his son doesn't bother about law. These things are not possible now, these days. Maybe a decade ago, or maybe in a very single rare case, somebody can abide the law, and that also once. In this movie, the person is threatening his opposition that he will cut their throat. Practical, it's not possible. That they are glorifying the criminals. If suppose somebody is a gentle guy, if that person watched that movie, that person can think, if a person is naive, that he wanted to become a criminal like Ranveer Kapoor, that to take the revenge, he can go in the class and start doing the firing. Is that possible? Anybody can do it. They are showing the wrong thing. Once I heard the interview of Nawazuddin, he said that these things which they show in the movie, that one person is fighting with 20 people, how is it possible? Nobody can do, even the Bruce Lee can't do it. So this is all bullshit. And the way that that guy treated that the lady, lick my shoes, it is nuisance. What they are showing, a man has the right to command to say to the lady to lick my shoes to show that she loves me or not. This is all nonsense. This movie, I do not know why people like that movie. And that movie was too long for 3 hours. And I was tired of sitting. But just I was watching that movie because of watching clothes, because I noticed that that guy was wearing his slim fit clothes. He was looking awesome in that movie. Apart from that, there is nothing we can learn in this movie. And these movies can ruin our image thinking also. Like I saw Kashmir Files. So whenever these days I see any Muslim, I had a doubt in my mind, maybe this person is wrong. Because in that movie is shown that Muslims are horrible with the ladies. It's not. Black sheep is in every community. In like with Asaram Babu, what is he? Is he not? He's not Muslim, but he's a horrible person. That one from Punjab, there is one Dera Soda. I don't remember the name of that person right now. It's not coming on my tongue. That these days he's keep on coming on the bail. So that person also did wrong with the females. So we can't portray one particular community or particular anybody that they are doing wrong. I completely agree with the page that they are doing wrong. They are showing something wrong. That In movie, yeah, Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh, you're absolutely right. So that person is not Muslim. So we want to show that Muslims are doing wrong in that movie. No, I have to have fear. In my home, one Muslim comes for my, he's my tailor. Sometimes he brings his son. He's wearing that Muslim cap. I do have a fear in my mind. Maybe he's the wrong guy. So that movie changed us. When I was a child, I used to watch movies of Dharminder, Amitabh Bachchan smoking cigarette, drinking alcohol, and have becoming. They were one is shown as a police officer, another is shown as a criminal. So that time we used to think like this: to become a police officer or look to become a criminal. So these movies, it should be banned. Those who are showing the vulgarity, I can say in these movies there are two, three songs, scenes which are shown which one can't see with the family. I did the right thing that my wife didn't agree to go with me. Otherwise, if my wife would have agreed to go with me, maybe my daughter would have also gone with me. How can I sit with my wife and daughter and see in the theater, especially in the theater, not on that Netflix one can see on alone. Watching it was shown a nude scene over there that almost. So this movie should be banned. The government should do something that they should show the right something, or one can have entertainment like a comedy. That's something else. But in this movie, they have only shown the violence, sex. This is absolutely wrong. Thank you.
So Munishji is of the opinion that this movie should be banned. There are a lot of sensitive parts of it which I don't think the society must see. I just have a question for you, Munishji. There was one of the scenes in the movie Animal, which in which the protagonist, the Ranbir Kapoor, says with his arms wide in a very fashionable way that sadly there's a patriarchal society where men rule, and he cheats on his wife,
Yes.
and when her wife gets very angry on that part, so he says, "If I find you cheating, I'll kill you." What do you think about? What's your take on such kind of scenes? Don't you think they are portraying masculinity in a very bad way,
Yes, they
which
are
might
portraying the
influence
in a
certain kind of
very
people?
wrong way. When this scene happened, when their Bobby Deol was about to marry one third way female, and when he got a call, and in front of everybody, he was doing the physical act with a female in front of everybody. So entire the people those who have come to see the function. So what he did, that is absolutely wrong. What they have shown, is he a human? What was another question you used to ask me?
I was just talking about the scene where he cheats on his wife. Now his wife is scolding at him like, "Why did you cheat? Why did you cheat on me?" And she says that I'll do the same to you. And to that, he almost loads his gun and was ready to fire on her. Like, I cannot tolerate the fact that my wife is cheating on me. I won't even
Yes,
let
yes, yes.
any man come near me.
Yes, yes. His wife was a very nice lady. She knew everything. She just want to say to him, she just want to show that you cheated me. If I cheat you, how do you feel? But that's right. So she strike the iron while it was hot, and that time he was angry. But how can you cheat me? This mean a man only has a right to cheat? So this is absolutely wrong. I heard that there was in our country they are going to make a law for adultery. I think they are not adultery. What is the right word? I do not know. That should be right. Then there should be a fear in the people that they should not have an affair with their other wife or other husband. I think that law should be there in our country. The government should make that law that people will have fear because of this thing. And this is it's not I'm talking about this movie. Once I saw Kangana Ranaut movie where Kangana Ranaut was shown in that movie. Madhav. She was showing that she was before marriage. She was having a relation with many boys. She was drinking openly. She was smoking in that movie. So this is ruining our culture. Our culture is not like this. The girls are smoking and drinking. So are having multiple affairs, and for fun she was doing in that movie. Whoever the girl will see that movie, so what that girl will think, This is not in our culture. So in one movie I have seen of Shah Rukh Khan, Anushka. In Anushka said that she wanted to travel all over the world and she wanted to have sex with different countries with different people. So this is ruining our culture. So these things should not be shown in our country. We have a rich culture. So we have a bonding with each other. So husband and wife have a bonding. So why there are less divorce in our country as compared to other country? Why there are less live-in relationship in our country as in other country, other part of the world? I didn't know what is live-in relation couple of years ago. A lady from Germany, I met her in Goa. I took the helper from her to enter into a nightclub. And then she told me that I met her next day in our hotel. She told me the boy with whom she was, they are in liberal relationship. They don't want to marry because it is ridiculously expensive to rear kids over there. I didn't know what does live-in relationship mean. So till now, I don't think so. In my city, not even a single live-in relationship will be there because I live in a small town. Maybe in Delhi, maybe in Mumbai, not in my town. So that's the reason in my town I can say divorce rates are very less as compared to their own which I but as compared to.
That was interesting. That was interesting. I think you brought a lot of elements which was not part of the movie, but that was somewhere related to the movie and the culture. But there is something I would like to highlight is that it's not about the movie makers. Makers are just mimicking the audience because what audience finds it to be very entertaining and thrilling, they make such kind of movies. And no wonder why people are so fond of violence. This kind of depicts a sadism in the society. So moving on to you, Ansham, like what's your take on it?
Okay.
Like, are these kind of movies showing masculinity in a very bad way and influencing a very uh, wrong culture amongst the young men in the society and how they are depicting women? Anything would you like to say about these aspects?
Okay, let me start how Animal got introduced to me. Like my cousin told me that he is going to watch Ranbir Kapoor's movie Animal. See the trailer is so amazing, and that kind of stuff he gave me before watching the movie. And he is a huge fan of Ranbir Kapoor. So he watched the movie and then he was like very fascinated. He really liked that movie. I uh, used like YouTube. What's the story? In 10 minutes, I got the story, complete story. I was okay. That's the like father wants to like the son and some story, all complete story in 10 minutes. And I didn't find any kind of like such topics. It was just easy, full like story explained to me. Later, next 2 3 days later, I saw on YouTube that movie got released, and on 2x speed, I watch. I have very crazy movie watching habit. I watch end first, then if it is good, then I start coming forward, backward in the movie. So I watched end, and it was terrible. That Bobby Deol scene where he was killing him. I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. Then I was searching in complete movie because I saw a review of that movie. That Bobby Deol, Lord Bobby, a lot of shorts on YouTube. Lord Bobby hashtag Bobby Deol's comeback. So I was searching his part, and I didn't find in from where I started the search. So I started like I skipped that romance and how Rashmika Madan and they met and all. I was already aware of the story. I watched the movie from where he is like got accident, something like that. I don't remember. I watched and it struck me like from like Dimag Hil Gaya, where he killed his sister's husband, and he was not empathizing with his sister. He was just giving her option that that man was not worthy. You have what's your age? You will get another man. It was like the sentiment has no value. His own sister. It was just like, okay, that was a man. Now he is no more. Now go out and have fun. Emotion was, I find, okay, this is the from the maker of Kabir Singh. I watched Kabir Singh and I know where it is going. Then I took some patience and then started watching movie from there. And literally the cheating scene, I after watching that movie, I called my cousin and I was like, what shit movie it is. I was in action, I didn't enjoy. I watched it at 2x speed, but that cheating is not like justifying. And she asked him and she asked him to kill her if he took that action. That I don't have a problem with that. It will justify that he was just using that girl to protect his father. But yeah, he empathized with that girl with no, and he didn't empathize with other murderers or someone who he killed. So that was the worst thing. If in that movie, if girls are also in action, I would say that I'm liking this movie, because the movie genre, and it was in trailer, we know that it's going to be on violence. In songs we are aware that how the movie maker want his movie to present. We in India, we have freedom to express, we have freedom to share our ideas and all kind of, and movie are like broader perspective. It's a like big stage, you are representing your art. So even that was like before Animal got released, there are a lot of videos that you watched Kabir Singh and you are finding it at violence. I will show you what violence is, then Animal come into picture. So liberty of showing art is director choice. And the action scene was violating, but what I found, the most and violent part was end. That killing was so insane. And rest, it was like, even in South movies, Tollywood movie, we never question their creativity. How a hero just lifting lungi and then tying and then just moving his chashma, and all the action is happening. Even in South Tollywood, we have seen a girl is just like a show off in movie, in songs and all kind of stuff. So we never ask this kind of questions a lot in Tollywood. Even in South, um, hero like got worshipped and all. I respect that the you are showing, but this concept of masculinity over that feminism. My cousin told, if you feel so bad about women, go and watch Thappad. I was like, it's not about that I am so feminine, I want that justice, I want justice for her. Now I will watch another feminist movie that will counter my mind, that okay, this can be the. But if you are creating a scenario where you are giving freedom to your hero to do action, so you should also give this female lead all right. They are just show it's like a random toy. That Munish sir explained that scene where Bobby there uses third wife and all three wives. It's not good. And then even at the time when she was about to go in labor, and Ranbir Kapoor was like that animal, I don't remember his name from movie, I watched in 2x. So I just got okay, what's go through, it's like quick revision. So that time he didn't show the empathy, but for that first girl, for the girl with whom he cheated, for he has like feeling. So of course that guy, it was not justifiable, he did cheated. He really enjoyed that. He was he gave her total attention, he made that girl like love into him. And of course maybe he also got soft corner. What I want to say here, even in Kabir Singh, Preeti took action in the end. She slapped Kabir Singh at the end of movie. So how in college, if someone even if he is your senior, he is asking you to come, you can't be just puppet to any random person. That is so unreasonable. In this movie, when that guy was bad, he is not worthy of the girl and wife. you can't do that thing. Okay, I saath fere nibhane and all kind of. If that guy is wrong, you have also right to come out from that relationship. You have right to make give revenge or teach him lesson. And of course, if he is in love with you, he have he has to put all efforts again. He has to come to the back to the roots where all it started. Because what how the women who fell in love with that guy was not there. I don't see it later on. I watched the song where they fall in love, but later on it he was different person. So women or any partner in their relationship have right to come out, even take a break and teach a lesson. Even it's so required to make that person acknowledge that you are going wrong. So that I found when she, yeah, even she acknowledged that memes तुम्हारा पापा का प्रेम रोग है, something that's like meme, right? I watched that movie after that memes and completely Lord Bobby's shorts video. I was like, the main reason was this too, to watch the animal, Rashmika Madan memes and Lord Bobby shorts. But yeah, it's wrong. And few thing I want to say, in Hollywood there is like action movies that are too disturbing, but here the director don't just give such disturbing elements. If he want, he can, but I found it okay to see that action. Even guys, even girls do enjoy a lot of action scenes. So I don't have problem with action scenes, but yeah, that concept of story. And yeah, no police in this multiverse or like verse of animal. Yeah, thank you.
So let me welcome Pragya and Tugu. So what we are discussing about the toxic masculinity being portrayed and how violence is being justified in these movies. Like what's I'll come to you soon. But what Anshum has to say is that the idea of femininity is portrayed in a very wrong way, and so is masculinity, because you are giving a freedom to one gender to do whatever he likes, and that's not justifiable even on the part of women as well. So that's what Anshum has to say. And now, Tu and Pragya, since you guys have joined, I'm not sure. Just tell me, have you seen the movie Animal? Animal or Tere Naam or Kabir Singh? Just raise your hands if you have.
ये तेरे
No.
में भी ऐसा होता है क्या?
Okay, Tuku has seen and Pragya hasn't seen. So let me come to you, Tuku. Do you think such movies portray a very bad light of masculinity? No, the alpha guys. We have seen the movie Animal, in which there is a dialogue called Ranbir Kapoor says, "I'm an alpha guy," and I will, the society used to function on alpha guys. Nobody likes the poetic or the writer or the guys. Women don't prefer such kind of guys. Women go for toxic people. So such kind of ideas were being portrayed in that movie. So what's your take on it? Whether these movies are justifying masculinity, first of all, or are they really even portraying toxic masculinity? It's our perception. What do you think? What do you do?
Hi, good evening, everyone. First of all, I have watched this film Animals, and I was very excited when the trailer was released, right? And but when I watched this film, I didn't like. I really didn't like, because I felt that the main actor, he was suffering from some kind of psychological disturb. He was psychologically disturbed, right? And if you're talking about that alpha, beta, gamma, whatever, I really do not understand that. Who are the alpha male, beta male, all this. But I like the film Kabir Singh, but I didn't like Animals. Kabir Singh was okay. In my opinion, it was okay. But Animals was a kind of, it's the guy, the main actor, he was psychologically disturbed. He was suffering from daddy issue. Because during his childhood, he was deprived of his father's love and affections. So he went through that kind of trauma, and he developed a psychology like that. right? So that's the problem. He was suffering from that obsession for his father. So the question is whether these kind of films it is promoting toxic masculinity or not. I think that it is promoting, because the kind of violence and the uncontrolled emotion of the actor, that is not masculinity. I believe that a man who is a masculine must have a control over the emotion. That's the first thing. That is the emotional autonomy. And the guy who does violence, commit crimes, all these guys, they do not have the emotional control over themselves. That's the problem, and that is not the masculinity. That is weak and toxic masculinity. And in this movie, because the actor was not able to control the obsession for his father, he was not able to control his emotions, right? So he he wasn't he wasn't a masculine man. He was a weak man, in my opinion, right? So this film, whether it is selling toxicity or selling the violence, yes, because violence is sellable. Violence is sellable in our country or in other countries as well. People like violence. People like toxicity, because if you see in day-to-day life of the common people, they are bored. They do not have things to do. They are directionless. When you don't have the direction, you are attracted to something. Maybe it is good or bad. So that is the thing. People are directionless, and and there is something that the bad thing attracts more. It is easy to attract, but good things, like there was a movie that Sam Bahadur or something, that was equally released at the same time, but people didn't watch Sam Bahadur. He was a great guy, because they do not understand the greatness. What comprise the greatness is all about. People do not understand. If there is violence, if there is toxicity, that attracts the people, especially the common people, right? And it has an impact. It has a gradual impact on the, especially on the on children and the people who are psychologically disturbed. If you remember that incident about two children who killed an innocent friend. There were two children in Delhi. They killed their friend because they want to be famous. They want to be gangsters. And when the police asked why did they do that, they said that they were inspired from the film Puspa, and there was another film Bhokal or something. So they killed their friend because they were inspired from the film Puspa. So that is the kind of, this children who doesn't have the understanding, who doesn't have uh, they do not have the morality, right? They do not understand what is good or bad. These kind of people are affected. They are the vulnerable people, and the people who are psychologically disturbed, they are also the vulnerable. They are susceptible to this kind of films, and they may commit the crimes against the women, against the men as well. So toxicity, what is, first of all, the people do not understand what is masculinity. Second thing, if they do not understand, they will attract it to the toxic masculinity. There is a boundary line between masculinity and toxic masculinity. People do not understand that boundary, that limit. So they do not understand. They cross the limit and act like a toxic man. So that is the problem. That is the problem, I think. It is a lack of understanding, and this film are promoting. And I told you that it has an impact, gradual impact on the people, and the most vulnerable people are the children and the people who are psychologically disturbed. This film will have an impact on them. But the people, other people like who are a little bit educated, who are aware, who are psychologically, this film may not have that impact on them. But the people who are psychologically affected, they might have some impact on them. This film have an impact on them, right? So that is from my side. Thank you. Back to you.
So let me acknowledge Tej here. So let me catch you up. What Tuku saying, I'm sorry, was saying that there is a very thin line between people don't actually understand what masculinity is all about, right? What masculinity is actually all about, and there is a very thin line. So the most vulnerable section of the society is the young children, especially young boys, who do not have completely no idea as to what masculinity is. So they fall into such narratives, toxic masculinity, like one portrayed in Kabir Singh or Animal movie, or we have influencers known as Andrew Tate or something like that. So we have these kind of narratives, and I see there is a sense of frustration among men. There is a sense of sadism among men, especially young men these days. So especially hatred towards women, right? And I see it, and that's the reason I see these kind of movies are actually very glorified and people love it, because every man is somewhere very sad or powerless in his life. So that's the reason they kind of invoke certain kind of emotions, that I'm the guy, I'm the alpha guy, I can do whatever I like, I can treat however the woman, I can treat the way I like when it comes to women, and I can do whatever I want. And especially when men do get rejected from women, they kind of tend to develop certain kind of feelings, these kind of toxic feelings, them, they kind of accumulate them. And I don't blame men entirely. The reason being because men actually don't express their emotions. We don't accept the men who expresses emotions. So they kind of accumulate it, and there is nobody to listen. So as a result, men kind of become very vengeful and kind of very frustrated. Because another day I was just seeing in the city, two men just bumped their vehicles into each other, and my God, they just started emitting cuss words, and they almost reached their shoulders and grabbing their collars, and they were abusing each other mothers. So there's a lot of frustration, sadism among men. So I'm coming to you, Pragya, but before that, Anshum, would you do me a favor by hosting another meeting, because this meeting is going to end in another 5 minutes, another 4 minutes, I think, and Pragya can start. So Pragya, you haven't seen any kind of such movies. Let me give an idea of toxic masculinity is. So first of all, do we understand what toxic masculinity is, Pragya?
No idea.
Sorry?
No idea.
So it's like
read some what Tuku has shared, but still I'm not getting what exactly.
It's like the younger version of Salman Khan, where he beats women, he's uncontrollable, he expresses whatever he likes, he hits everybody. And
Excuse me, no movie Salman Khan has. Why always Salman Khan as an example?
No, Salman Khan is a classic example.
Salman Khan has never beaten any woman at least in the movie. I don't know about their real life.
I'm talking about not Salman Khan characters. I'm talking about actual Salman Khan, the bhai.
Okay, you are talking about Salman and Aishwarya Rai's relationship.
Not only that relation, but every relation. No woman is ready to have a relation with him, because he's just uncontrollable. He beats women. The fact that he does not treat people in a very good light. And this is very well portrayed in a movie called Tere Naam. He did that movie. Oh. And where he had a very idea of, and also.
Why sorry? It's always Salman Khan?
Salman Khan is a classic example. I'll tell you at the end of the meeting why Salman Khan is a classic. Also Mike Tyson. I'll tell you these are the symbolism of alpha guys. A lot of people actually admire.
To be very honest with you, Deepesh, we have our whole society as a biggest example of this. We see every day, if you walk around in any of the societies, you'll see the shoutings, you see on roadsides, you see in public places as well. So we don't need to go into their houses whom we can't even think of what's happening in their houses. To be very honest with you, these examples are in our locality, probably in our near and dear ones' houses also. These things will be happening. We don't know what bedroom stories are all about. But yeah, so we don't need to go to Salman Khan to understand
I
what
think
these
I think
problems.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think Pragya, you are misunderstanding the topic. Like here, you're talking about the patriarchy society, like where the man is dominating the family, and he just somehow, just kind of
No,
putting all its
even the
decisions.
physical abuse is also there, not
Yeah.
Tej.
So yeah. This like, but toxic masculinity is much more than this.
Mhm.
Can any man help Pragya understand like what toxic masculinity in simple words? Because I'm unable to. Or Anshum, if you can.
Yeah.
Or let's end this meeting. It's just going to end in another minute. So I'm ending this. Let's join another link. We shall continue.
Hi, Anshu.
We are back. So I think it was Pragya's turn. So basically, Pragya, like, what's your take on? Have you? I'll give you, or I'll explain you this in a easy terms. Like, were there any bad experiences or with men? And I'm not asking very personal questions, but what toxic male behavior have you come across, or whether it happened in your surroundings or any of those experiences? Would you like to share? Because that's how I will be able to explain you better.
So a couple of times I have seen people shouting on their wives and all those things and slapping them in public, creating nuisance all around without any reasons, being dominating for all those things. What I have seen so far, and no much, just from a stranger, a third person, like in the bus travels I have seen, in the roadsides I have seen couple of times. Didn't know much more about that. So that's what I have seen. Thankfully, I have seen only this much. If it is more beyond that, then I'm blessed that I haven't seen, and I don't want to see in the coming futures as well.
So what's your take? Why do you think such violence has been? I think we all have seen domestic violence where men just lose their minds and they abuse their wives. Why do you think can be the reason that's so widespread in the society? And we are not very vocal about it because we think income matter hai, hum kya karenge beech mein? Yeah, you very well pointed out that you mentioned aspect of masculinity that you need to be tough. You cannot act, you cannot sit with women. Like one of the instances I'll share with my life. I was in like sixth grade and I was not paying attention to my class. So what my teacher did was she made me sit with girls, and now that's not considered very masculine. So as a mark of insult, as a mark of punishment, she made me sit with girls. And all the boys around started laughing on me. Oh, you're sitting with girls, you're not man enough, or this or that. I'm like, what's wrong with sitting with a girl? So that's how a society sees, right? Men should be tough. Men should be that. They cannot cry or they cannot do feminine things. They cannot express their emotions. So, like, how have been the experiences with fellow men in your life? With any men you can talk about, like, how are they? Do they express their emotions to you, or they're kind of, they act very, you might have heard about this mard ko kabhi dard nahi deta. So any of these aspects do you want to highlight, Pragya?
So any of these things, to be very honest, it's just a stereotype we all have built up. I don't know why we all discuss all those things. If we, at the end of the day, if none of our group members is like that person, so what's the benefit of discussing all those things? Even even I think that it's an individual's perspective. They're in a growing society, so why do think about, if we are ready to break those stereotypes in our own selves, like if Dipesh wants to cry and share his personal emotions with us, then that's fine. That's fine for us. So why we are discussing? If someone in this group is not like that, then we can discuss and then we can get some. Will come to stage. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it might be, Pragya might have certain confusions. It's fine, because this is something toxic. I'll just recommend you, Pragya, if you have spare time, and just go and watch any of these movies which I have mentioned in the group. Like, you will get the idea, if you are interested to know about like toxic masculinity. You'll get to know how men are portrayed and what standards it set. I was waiting for Tej, but Tej went along. I don't know where is. So I was just saying this. So there was an incident, which I just shared about it. Yeah, Tej is back. So Tej, you are, since I don't have to explain to you like about toxic masculinity and how these movies portray it. So what's your take? Whether, first of all, just you need to speak whether these movies are really portraying toxic masculinity, or it's just a hype we have created. All right.
No,
And if
first,
yes
no,
or no, state the reasons.
yeah. So I mean, initially, I just want to just differentiate. I don't know, like, please correct me, like, if I do some mistake. So for me, like, feminism is nothing more than just getting the equal right as human. Like, if you are equally treated as a human, as a man, like, if you are getting, like, equal pay scale, if you're getting equal respect, if you're getting equal opportunity as men, that is what we call is feminism, right? And when it comes to masculinity, for me, like, it is like when you are ready to take responsibility of family, when you are ready to respect your family. In case if you find that there's some sort of mishappening is happening, like mishap is there, or probably if some sort of unfair things are happening, then it's your responsibility to reform all those things in the society. That's what we call is masculinity. But when we talk about the toxic masculinity and what sorts of impact the all these movies are having on our society,
Hold on,
then
please. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. I was just saying you have to explain with the context of movies. If you have seen any, Tere
yeah,
Naam or all those movies.
yeah. So I've seen all these movies. Okay, I've seen all these movies. I've watched all all those movies. So I mean, so first thing, I would say, I mean, back in the days, I do remember, like, there were some kids who were just having some sort of the smoking habit, or they barely they used to hide these things from the society while doing liquor, or puffing or smoking. But cause of these movies, now they think that these are new normal, and smoking and drinking in public place, and showing and or attending rave party is make you cool. So, like, this sort of mentality our youth are getting, and why it's happening, because of this is the impact of the movies on us. The second thing is, like, you know uh, earlier, like, if there was some sort of grudge between two people, like two men, initially they used to abuse, or however later on they may fight with each other with the hand, or maybe with stick. But having guns, using weapon, and even killing people without any reason, just to look cool, or just to show that, like, you are the guy, you are the only man in the society, who can just rule the entire society, and can become like Salman Khan. So 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 this sort of thing are happening because of the movies only, right? So I mean, and apart from it, like, earlier, like, we used to respect women like a lot, but these days, I mean, for them, like, if like, it's sort of macho man sort of thing are happening. Like, if like, they're promoting, like, you run after money, and the girls will be running after you, you know? And in case if a girl did cheat on you, like, just slap her, or maybe just disrespect her, you'll get ample of girls. You'll use this sort of form of you, and so many girls will go crazy after you. So this is what, like, this sort of impact is happening. And especially in this present era, like, when we talk about, especially all these youngs, these Gen Z, all these Gen Z, they are quite confused about the life. So they always, even we people, we always look for a mentor, we look for a aim, or what sort of thing we do. So we are basically affected by our surrounding. So if the youth will be watching such sort of movie, of course they'll get a way to live their life. So of course it affects a lot. Like, if you go to any temple regularly, and you find that people are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, or maybe they're doing some sort of worship. So certainly you'll also start doing that same thing. But eventually, if you'll watch this sort of movie, everyone will be talking about them, everyone will be discussing about them, everyone in news, every time, all these things will be there, like, this movie created this much money, like, their budget was this. So this sort of mentality will be there, and they will be behaving this way only. I recently heard a news that in Faridabad, a guy from in DPS school, he took a gun in the classroom, just to show that he has a gun, and if anyone mess with him, he's going to shoot them right away. So this sort of thing is happening, and I'm pretty sure, like, everything happening, like, the reason behind is the movie somewhere, like, so this is the platform, where we getting information, a lot of information from. So it's impacting, it's making huge impact on the life. Apart from it, like, things earlier, things were quite normal. Like, women, they were actually, they used to respect, they were having some sort of grooming. These days, you can look easily, like, girls, they just, recently there was a news that a girl was traveling in metro, in Delhi metro, in bikini. I know people were commenting on her. I mean, how could you imagine, how could you even expect respect from all these people, who don't come from those backgrounds. I mean, these people are not, they're not from West, they're living in the B town, B grade towns, and you are putting on bikini while traveling in metro, and you're expecting that they'll be respecting you. I like, this doesn't make a sense to me. So I mean, ideally we need to do as Romans. If we have got this famous quote, like, if the people surrounding are such, so you also behave that way only. So I mean, so it's making huge impact on our life.
So I have a question for you, Desh. Like, why do you think these kind of movies do well? I mean, like, why men like such kind of movies? Like, what's becoming wrong with men these days? And one of the reasons I think, before you can go on, is increasing frustration and sadism in men. I think is and that comes out in a very aggressive way. That's why men love these movies. Oh, we want violence, we want blood, we want everything. So, what do you think men are becoming to like such movies a lot these days?
Especially, everyone familiar with it. Like, we people, like, this generation goes for the like quick pleasure. I mean, we people don't want to go for hard work and eventually get some sort of sense of achievement or pleasure later on. We want quick pleasure, and like, having drugs, doing drugs, joining gangs, looking cool, dating many girls, watching movies, putting on Western outfits. I think these things make youth crazy, and they think like it is giving them sort of the pleasure. Even abusing in college and university, especially in the school, it's become new normal. Even the girls from Delhi, they abuse a lot. I've watched ample group of ample girls who abuse openly. I mean, even they abuse to men as well in my society. So this sort of happening since they think that it is making them cool, and this is the only way to get pleasure. And so it's a basic human nature that always go for quick pleasure instead of working hard and following the traditional way. We always look for some sort of thing which can make us famous just in few seconds. We have got various examples. I forgot the name of this lady. I mean, some Urvasi names. No, there's a girl who just put on any damn thing, any damn cloth, and go in here and there and call people.
Urfi
I
Javed.
forgot. Yeah, or Fijawed. So apart from it, like, a lot many girls are there who just make kind of while putting on like some sort of semi-nude movies or reels they're making over Instagram in order to get fame. So since they think that this is the quick way to get pleasure and to get fame and name and money as well. So I mean, that's why people are getting crazy. I mean, earlier the people we barely get a video of people making videos over YouTube or Instagram, but now you can see every another girl they're dancing over reels, or most and they always look for what's the best way to allure public. And whenever they make nude or semi-nude videos over social media, they get ample of likes and millions of followers they get. So I think like this is a quick way to get fame and name and pleasure. So that's why they're doing it.
When it comes to dressing, I think there's a I think a lot of women these days don't get it, but there's a dressing sense. Like, you cannot wear anything anywhere. Like, for example, if I roam around the streets of Delhi in shirtless, then probably people will be very awkward towards me. And I've seen this happening in Delhi metro. There was a video which was viral. There's a guy who flaunts his like 8 or 6 abs, and he removes his shirt, and there was somebody who was shooting. And all the women were so embarrassed about it. And they were looking, peeping down in the smartphone. So what I believe, there is a dressing sense. Like, you cannot wear anything everywhere. Either of the genders, it's just not about the women, but either of the genders you cannot. What if I just come wear lungi in tuition classes and I'm a professor?
Yeah.
So there is, I
Exactly.
think, dressing sense about it. You cannot wear beach outfits in a Delhi metro or
Yeah.
any other place like that. So yeah, I think a lot of people are trying to gain short-term fame and pleasures, and people like Urfi Javed get famous due to sleazy men who follow them on Instagram. So there's a lot of things going upon this. So yeah, that's what. So with this, we come to the end of our session. Great insights from everybody, I must say. Thank you, Anshum, Tej, and Tuku for joining this meeting. So, any final comments you would like to make with regards to this topic, or any future topics you would like to discuss, or any other thing you would like to share? Please go on. To be honest, I love the movie. Right? I love the movie, but there is a reason. I don't let myself influenced by these movies. I just watch it for entertainment. That I love the action sequence, and I'll tell you the reason why I loved it, because it is a very creative and something like that has never happened in Indian cinema. So it was a very different take on a father-son relationship, because that's very complicated in the country. What I don't like about it is because, let's say, somebody like me who doesn't care about what message is being given, but somebody who is 16 to 17 years old, boy, he sees that happening and he thinks this is how men should behave. And it kind of affects somewhere. It's just not about that movie. It's about everywhere you see such kind of content. When it comes to people like Andrew Tate, or these so-called alphas, sigma male, and all those things get propagated. So people learn it, and they learn it, and they kind of uh, incorporate such kind of behavior, and that's how they become toxic. Let's say out of 1,000 men, 999 don't care, but one might turn into a toxic, and such people actually become rapists. If you see the documentaries of rapists, they have no remorse what they did. When it comes to murderers, when it comes to thefts, they all feel remorse and guilty about their acts. But when it comes to rapists, they're like, they don't have any remorse of it. Not even a slight amount of guilt they have. Like, when there was a documentary which was actually banned from YouTube, I think. Uh, the journalist was talking, I think she was a journalist or somebody who was interviewing the rape convicts of Delhi gang rape. And they showed no signs of remorse when it comes to women. So such kind of things are also happening. So we need to account all of these because we should not glorify such kind of movies. Because some best किसी का screw ढीला है कौन कब क्या हो जाए nobody has any idea. So that's the reason.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I think these movies should not be allowed by the censor board. The reason behind, I'll tell you why. You know what? Like, I mean, people, they always go with trend. Like, did you notice that after COVID-19, a lot of people they're going to Kedarnath, and they're visiting a lot of Vrindavan temples. They become suddenly they become very devotional. They're worshiping a lot. They're going to Khatu Sham and all. So why it's happening? I mean, it's not like the devotion inside them. It has risen or awake all of a sudden. It's caused a lot of people influencer are going all these places. They're shooting videos and they're just uploading over social media, and people are being affected by them. So they also want to go these places. Also, apart from it, like the people from the remote areas, I mean, or from maybe from villages, they're loving to go to snow filled mountains, snow covered mountain, and all these hill stations. The reason behind, like, these are new normal. And even these days, a lot of youth, they are becoming baba, like they're becoming all these maharajis, so that they can convey some message, or they want to open their own monastery, so that they can enjoy all these luxurious life. So a lot of educated people, even though after they're resigning from their MNCs, and they're joining the field of baba. They're becoming babas a lot. So for me, like, so whatever happen around us, it of course it affects us. I mean, if I talk about my initial education, it was quite normal, since I studied in a school in very remote location. We were teacher were not that much educated, and people were did even the student did not have that much craze of education. But however, later on, when I went to Delhi, after completing my primary education, so, I found there was a craze of education in the people. So I also started reading, studying with them. So we always follow the trend. We always follow support what happens near us. Whenever we go to a shop, or we find a businessman that doing business, so our brain also start working that way. We also think that we'll start our own shop. When we see an engineer, we also want to become an engineer. So whatever we see around us, we our brain, it directly or indirectly start affecting us. So wherever we spend more and more time, of course our brain started becoming like that way only. So of course, like, everything affecting us a lot. I mean, these days, we watch a lot of clips or interview by IAS and IPS officers, who are just who are just going there, and telling that we want to become this and that. If we just look at the data, last few decade in last in one decade, you will see a lot of engineers and doctors from who just graduated from colleges or from IIMs. They are joining you like civil services. But before that, there were certain people, the group who always used to go for that. And even now there is a trend of businessman, so everyone wants to become a business tycoon these days. So whatever happens, like whatever we see, whatever we experience in our surrounding, we become that only. So I believe, back in the days there was a lot of movies, a lot of songs by Gulshan Kumar about devotion, about Mataji, and Babas, about Lord Krishna, Lord Ram. And we used to listen to those songs only. But now the thing has been changed a lot. Now even my nephew, he sings char bottle vodka kam mera roz ka. So whatever they watch around them, they do it. And back in the days, yeah, back in the days when I was young, I used to sing this, that अब कहीं ना कहीं राम मिलेंगे, श्याम मिलेंगे, so it happens, whatever we see around us, we do so. So I believe that all these movies, they should be banned by censor board, so that some good things can come into the market, and we can act accordingly. Recently, I mean, I do remember when there was a movie about this movie Tare Jami Par. This When this movie released, we started thinking about the kids, about their mentality. Before that, we never give a damn about it. After this movie Chichore, we started thinking about it, that even the mental health, it matters a lot. We also need to look after the stress. We also need to look after doing certain things, so that we can improve our mental health. So of course, we are being affected by our surroundings. We Before that, we never discuss about doing practicing meditation, or maybe doing some sort of mindfulness, so that we can calm our brain down, or we can improve our the mental health. But now things been changing. Even now, a lot of people, they are going to do bodybuilding, they're taking a lot of steroids. We recently talked about it. So this craze is new normal now. Now taking supplement is quite common in us. So people whomsoever goes to gym, they take protein. And but once they get influence of some bodybuilders, they start taking steroids, and then they have got huge impact on their health. So of course, like it affecting our life a lot. So I personally believe that all these movies should be banned, and we should not allow, since we are very much affected by them. But if there will be more movies like Three Idiot, then I'm pretty sure that youth will get in new directions, so that they can do better in their life. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dipesh.
I think you mentioned about IAS and how there is a trend of a lot of people want to become IAS, and there are a lot of interviews are there on YouTube. I just want to say, आपकी opinions ठीक है, लेकिन dressing थोड़ा सा casual है. We got the influence.
आप थोड़े ज्यादा मुस्कुरा रहे हो.
स्माइल आपका थोड़ा सा ज्यादा है, आपका थोड़ा सा कैजुअल है, आपको थोड़ा सा टाई वाई पहन के जाना है वहां पे.
एंट्री ठीक है, बट आपके जूते और थोड़े अच्छे हो सकते थे.
Oh, Anshuman Tugu, I have no idea like what we are talking. We will send you the video, don't worry. So anyway, guys, get Rick on. I there was very, this was in fact one of these very deep conversations we had in years. And if you're fine with such kind of topics, like what do you think? What do you say, Anshum, to go there? Do we bring such kind of topics more? If you guys are comfortable, or shall we resort to simple topics like stories and by the way, I'm planning a session on storytelling. So and this is going to be different from typical Nitaya, and I want only Nitaya members, like regular, we all of us to attend that, rather than new members, because they don't find that very appealing, encouraging. So what guys, what do you think about it? Since all of us are here, Tugu, Tej, Anshum.
Yeah, so initially I would like to go with that. Like, it's really good that we are discussing about the variety of topics, and I think like they are very much needed topic to be discussed by us. And second thing, if you are thinking about that way, of course, I would appreciate it. Like, since we also be able to learn new skills, and that way, or what sort of way should be there to tell a story. And we may get another opportunity in the near future, so that this experience will help us at that time. So
What do you say,
I've got
Anshum?
yeah.
नहीं, I'm planning a session on storytelling. I wanted to, like, since all of us are here, and I want this session to be different from regular Nitaya sessions, because बहुत सारे speakers आते हैं, उनको लगता है कि फिर वो storytelling वाला देख लेंगे, अरे यार